If you think a black cat crossing your path is bad luck, just wait till you see what happens when you get in the way of some of the world's most ferocious felines. We're counting down the top 10 most extreme cats in the animal kingdom and examining what makes them such accomplished killers. Get ready for the world's biggest cat fight when killer cats take it to the most extreme.
Earth is a planet of extremes. Extreme places. And extreme animals. But some animals are more extreme than others. Join us as we count down to find the most unusual and the most extraordinary on Animal Planet's The Most Extreme. Number 10.
Don't be fooled by the cat's cute and cuddly packaging. The 300 breeds of domestic cat and their 35 wild cousins are all natural-born killers hiding behind a fluffy exterior. The tools of their predatory practice are jaw and paw, but some cats can kill with more skill than others. And as the list of species on the menu grows longer, the body count rises, and we get closer to finding the most extreme killer cat. The first feline in our countdown is built for speed. It is the fastest land animal on the planet. But because it mostly lives off just 3 types of animal, the cheetah crosses the line at number 10. The stalk is as important as the sprint. It slowly moves to within 50 feet of an intended victim. Then the starter's pistol is fired, and the cheetah's off like a shot. The cheetah can run more than 60 miles per hour. The cheetah is a runner, not a fighter, so it's got to pick a target that won't strike back. Even wildebeest are a risky proposition. It's safer to hunt the smaller antelopes that live on the African plains and ignore the bigger beasts. If humans wanted to run like a cheetah, then we'd have to be built like one, and there are a number of features we'd need. Cheetahs are the only cats whose claws don't retract, which means they dig in like cleats when running. Our limbs would need to be long and slender to reduce our weight, but our chests would need to be huge to accommodate an enlarged heart and lungs. And we'd need a really big nose to feed lots of air to them. But of course, speed comes at a cost. And for the cheetah, it's longevity. Never mind 9 lives. Cheetahs in the wild are lucky to live 9 months. 90% of newborn cheetahs won't even make it to 3 months old. Most cheetah cubs fall victim to bigger predators, such as lions and hyenas, which is why cheetahs need to have the largest litter of any cat. There's no cheetah childcare on the plains, and after only 6 weeks, they start accompanying mom out on the hunt. It takes cheetah cubs 3 years to learn to hunt successfully. Training cats takes time. Just ask Yuri Kuklichev. This Russian has spent years learning how to communicate with cats. He is a cat whisperer. The result of his efforts is a group of cats that appear to be happy doing anything for him, much to the delight of the Russian people who come to watch. Yuri has developed a show that will astound anybody who has ever tried to get their cat to follow even the simplest command. The key to training them is understanding what motivates the cat's behavior. A cat will only do what it wants. So, to make it do what you want, give it something it wants to do. And what cat doesn't want to get its claws into a dog? Cheetahs want to get their claws into something even bigger, but their slim runner's body mostly limits them to just antelope. Our next killer cat shares its home with the cheetah, but where the cheetah specializes in running, this cat prefers to jump into the record books.
Number 9.
Leaping in to number 9 in the countdown is the Serval. This unusual but beautiful cat is among the feline family's most successful. It has a small, delicate head and extremely large ears. The Serval uses its ears like radar dishes, picking up the faint sounds of its prey. Unequaled in the cat world, the Serval's hearing allows it to locate small mammals moving through the grass or underground and to hunt its prey without seeing it until the final pounce. And no other cat can pounce quite like a Serval. They also have the ability to make vertical leaps of 10 feet and snatch birds as big as they are right out of the air. But in-flight meals are rare, and the Serval's size usually limits it to just 7 species of rodent. And although the Serval's technique is remarkable, its diet of rodents is a favorite of cats the world over. It was the cat's rodent-killing prowess that first brought them into our lives. Small wild cats were befriended by people that were starting to gather harvests and store their grain. The cat's ability to protect precious grain was so great that soon the cat became a goddess that protected all. In ancient Egypt, it was adored to the point of worship. The cat goddess was called Bastet, and the cult of cat worshipping lasted more than 2,000 years. Today's wildcats and their ancestors have been at work in Africa for 20 million years. Plenty of time to perfect its unique hunting technique.
We've seen cats that compete in the high jump of death and savage sprint champions. Coming up, we go poolside to meet a cat that loves to swim. And What killer cat takes a real beating from his wife? Number 8.
Goldfish hate cats. While on the other hand, cats hate water.
Coming in at number 8 in our countdown of killer cats is a feline that makes its home in the wetlands of tropical Asia. The fishing cat hunts where few others dare to wade, and usually lives off just 10 species of animal. Although it's a fantastic predator, the fishing cat's hunting territory depends on the size of the river or pond it lives next to, which means its diet is limited to just a few species of fish, amphibian, and aquatic bird. But the fishing cat isn't the only cat that takes to water. The cat's reputation as a killer quickly earned them a place on board ships during the days of exploration. Rats infested the holds of ships, spoiling food and spreading disease. So cats were treated as essential crew members and became as revered at sea as they were on land. Sailors believed they brought good luck to their ships and used them as weather forecasters. If a cat licked its fur against the grain, it meant a hailstorm was coming. If it sneezed, it meant rain. And if it was frisky, it meant wind. It was even a popular belief that cats could start storms through magic stored in their tails. In fact, cat hair is a strong attractor of static electricity, so cats can detect the buildup of electrical charge that precedes bad weather. A gathering storm often makes them nervous and restless. A bit of cold and rainy weather probably wouldn't bother the fishing cat. But for our next cat, it's a way of life.
Number 7.
Number 7 in our countdown of killer cats is definitely designed for cold weather. It wouldn't last long on a summer's day, but put it in the snow and it's completely at home. And places don't get much snowier or windier than the Himalayas. No wonder the cat that's next in the countdown is called the snow leopard. Despite its brutal environment, the snow leopard's buffet list includes almost 20 different species of animal. The snow leopard's made for the mountains. Its adaptations for high-altitude life include an enlarged nasal cavity, shortened limbs, strong chest muscles, and dense woolly fur, and a tail over 3 feet long for balance. Snow leopards are strong. They can kill prey up to 3 times their own weight. Usually, they'll hunt the various species of wild sheep and goats that live on the steep cliffs of the Himalayas. A A study of radio-collared snow leopards found that adults kill a large prey animal every 10 to 15 days. But one good thing about living in a refrigerator is that your food stays fresh for a long time. Snow leopards are such powerful hunters that some of the local people see them as magical beings that protect the sanctity of the mountainsides. They believe that sinful or impure acts will attract the wrath of the big cat. 400 years ago, a Japanese house cat waved at a nobleman and earned a spiritual following. Curious to see why the cat was waving at him, the nobleman went to investigate. Seconds later, a bolt of lightning struck the ground where he had just been standing. Ever since, the cat that waved has been revered as a sign of good luck and mercy. These cats might be wishing they had a goddess of mercy. Photographer Maji Haruri has 17 cats, all of which lead the lives of pampered supermodels. But what do the cats think of it?
The cats enjoyed the shoot. There's one in particular that absolutely loves it. Absolutely loves it. You can't get him away from the camera.
As classy as they seem, Maji rescued all her cats from the wrong side of the tracks.
It's a bit of a second chance for them. And some of them have been so starved and neglected, I didn't think they'd make it. But they seem to be well and happy now.
And happiness is the key to everything, even if that means living life as a cat in a hat. Thanks to its high-altitude home, the snow leopard rarely comes into contact with people and is worshipped from afar. The next cat on our countdown likes to get close to people, dangerously close.
Number 6.
In the Sundarban mangroves between Bangladesh and India, people wear masks to protect them from tigers. More than 1,500 people have been killed here in the last 30 years. Because tigers prefer sneak attacks from behind, people here started wearing face masks to fool the big cats into thinking they'd lost the element of surprise. It worked for a while, but now the tigers may be calling the bluff because the number of tiger attacks in the past few years is on the rise. The tiger's capable of catching almost anything except for a full-grown elephant. But with plenty of prey, they'll choose to live off 20 different species of animal. Tigers succeed in the hunt less than 20% of the time, but on average, they'll still catch one large mammal, such as deer, and a handful of smaller ones every week. But they are fussy about where they have their meals and usually prefer to drag their victim into their jungle dining room. One tiger was watched as it dragged a full-grown horse a quarter of a mile to its favorite eating spot. If you think tigers make Asia a dangerous place, keep in mind that there are more of them living in the US than in the rest of the world put together. But while these ones have professional handlers, that's not always the case. Right now, there are hundreds of wild cats living a suburban life. They may act tame and take the place of everyday pets, but they're always just a moment away from returning to their predatory pastimes. Tigers in the wild are solitary animals, with only themselves to look out for. But the next contender has numbers on its side and uses them to catch the biggest prey of any cat.
We've watched tigers jump in the swamps and snow leopards kill in the hills. Coming up, the battles just get bigger with a cat that's evolved to attack in a pack. And still to come, a small cat that's become a giant problem. Number 5.
Forget the king of the beasts. It's the queen that comes in at number 5 on our countdown of killer cats. Lady lion is the top predator on the African plains. Lions live in groups called prides that can number up to 20 animals. It's a collective where they share the work. The female lions are the ones who do the hunting, and they can choose from a menu of 20 different animals, which includes hefty buffalo, zebra, and wildebeest. Rather than help out, the males of the pride stay home more than 95% of the time. It seems their fabulous mane isn't much help in the sneak attack that lions use to hunt. So, like all good kings, the male lion spends his time sitting around and looking regal, while the others do all the work. Lions only succeed about a quarter of the time, and when the lionesses come home tired and grumpy from a hard day of hunting to find His Highness sitting proudly, you know what happens next. Luckily, there's a place that specializes in taking care of battered lions and 22 other types of wild cat. Big Cat Rescue in Tampa, Florida, is home to the big cats that no one else wants, according to manager Scott Lope.
Big Cat Rescue is an animal sanctuary, and we're dedicated primarily to exotic cats. We have about 170 cats, and they range from the tiny Joffrey cats from South America the whole way up to the lions and tigers, which are the largest of the cats.
Ready? Go up.
This sanctuary isn't a zoo. It's the final destination for animals that have suffered irresponsible pet ownership at its worst.
Hi, Gracie. Hey, little girl. We're not like a zoo because we didn't actively go out and collect these animals. All the animals at Big Cat Rescue are basically animals that needed a home, whether they were a police confiscation, an unwanted pet, a retired performing animal. These were all animals that nobody wanted.
How's my little girl? Hi, Katrina love. Hi, big girl. Hi, pretty girl. Oh, what a silly girl.
Scott's 170 wild cats need a lot of attention. Housing and feeding them is just a small part of giving them the best life possible under the circumstances. So how do you improve the life of a wild animal that's confined in an enclosure? You give it a box to play with.
They would spend so many hours a day hunting in the wild that this gives them a little something to hunt, something to tear up.
Enrichment is Scott's technique for making sure that his cats have something to look forward to each day. All of Scott's cats are treated to enrichment, and it's tailored for each cat's lifestyle. Leopards love trees.
It takes the focus off a little bit of everything being food driven. His reward is just as much that he gets to play with that enrichment. It's just more of an activity for his mind.
It may seem a poor substitute for an animal that's supposed to be roaming the plains of Africa, but big cat rescue is as good as it gets if you're an unwanted leopard.
They enjoy the enrichment because it gives them something to do. These animals were not meant to be in enclosures. It makes their territory more valuable to them. It has fun stuff, it has activities there, and it gives him a better day. It gives him a better life in captivity.
Every year, Scott has to turn away more than 300 animals. Each began life as a wild and exotic cat and ended it as a pet that nobody wanted.
If I could give advice to someone who really wanted to get an exotic cat or a wild animal as a pet, I would say just, if you care at all about the animal, don't do it. It's a miserable life for this animal.
Lionesses in Africa have to look out for lazy males and lots of kittens, but their lot in life is a whole lot better out in the wild. Our next cat contender finds the wild right in our own backyards.
Number 4.
Number 4 on our list of killer cats is moving into towns and cities across America. Meet the cougar. A staggering 85% hunting hit rate makes it one of the most efficient of all the feline predators. The cougar, also known as the mountain lion or puma, is North America's second largest cat. 7 feet tip to tail, and it doesn't just live in the mountains. This cat can be found anywhere, from the bottom of Florida across to Washington State and as far as the tip of South America. Cougars are happy eating anything, from berries to small bears. They make it to number 4 in the countdown, with a diet of more than 50 species of animal. While almost anything that moves is on the cougar's menu, they are fussy about just one thing. While the other big cats don't mind scavenging a meal some other predator prepared for them, cougars prefer to catch their own food. The cougar is the long jumper of the cats. It can reach 45 miles per hour in an instant and uses this speed to make leaps of up to 20 feet. By waiting until its prey is within reach, the cougar makes sure that it rarely misses. Like many of the big cats, cougars almost always come from behind and will go straight for the neck or the throat. These days, the cougar is starting to show up in suburban backyards, but they're not moving onto our turf, we're moving onto theirs. And wildlife officers have a full-time job capturing and re-releasing these big cats into more remote areas as the human population swells. One house cat owner has turned capture and release into a fashion statement. Sly little Misty has a habit of playing up when left alone. So Rachel's decided to never leave her alone again. Introducing the cat pouch, the latest method in feline supervision. It's a win-win situation. Misty gets to tag along no matter where Rachel goes, and Rachel gets to enjoy what might become the cat's meow in perfect pet care. The cougar may be one of the most complete killers on our list, but it loses out to the big bite at number 3.
While the cougar preys all alone and lions prey together, coming up are people that once prayed to a killer cat. And later, what killer kitty likes to eat puppy dogs? Number 3.
Our next killer cat makes its home in the world's biggest jungle. And through its eyes, the Amazon jungle is one giant supermarket full of goodies, fully stocked with the 85 different types of animal that the jaguar likes to eat. The jaguar can be found anywhere south of Texas and is the world's 3rd largest cat. Jaguars are the only cats that kill with a single bite to the skull, a tactic they can use when hunting peccaries. The caiman, a tropical alligator, is also high in their list of preferred species. Even turtle shells can't protect from the jaguar's massive bite. The jaguar's ability to kill once made it a god. The jaguar was revered throughout Mesoamerica. It was the being that linked the living with the dead. For the militaristic Aztecs, the jaguar was a god of war. One of the highest ranks in their armies was the Jaguar Knight. A soldier had to capture 4 enemies in battle and feed their hearts to a jaguar before he'd be promoted. From then on, the Jaguar Knight would have a full-time job fighting battles and capturing more fresh hearts for the jaguar. The jaguar is like a leopard on steroids. It's bigger, stronger, and heavier. But it still can't climb past the lethal leopard in our list of killer cats.
Number 2.
The leopard has a prey base of more than 90 animals in Africa alone, securing it the number 2 position in our countdown of killer cats. It stands out as the most common of the big cats and lives throughout sub-Saharan Africa, India, and Southeast Asia. If sheer numbers don't put the leopard head and shoulders above the other cats, then its climbing skills will. Leopards mostly hunt medium-sized hoofed animals such as impala and gazelle, but baby giraffe, monkeys, and gorilla are also on the list. But it's what happens when the hunt is over that makes the leopard so special. Leopards like a room with a view and will drag their prey high into trees before eating them. These weightlifters of the animal world have been seen dragging prey 3 times heavier than they are, almost 20 feet up into a tree.
Brother, he's tough. I wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley.
A fight between a cat and a dog usually involves a lot of barking and a few hisses. But how often does the cat win? In the leopard's world, it's cat eat dog. People who live among leopards know from hard experience that leopards really like the taste of domestic dog. In some parts of their range, poor old Rover makes up the whole of the leopard's diet. Leopards aren't the only cats that enjoy a three-dimensional life. A couple in San Diego have redesigned their whole house to suit their 10 little social climbers. They started in 1987 with a single catwalk, and before Bob Walker and Frances Mooney knew it, they were living in a cat house.
Literally one thing led to the next, and now there's 140 feet of cat path that goes through almost every room in the house. This is probably the most exclusive area in our house, is the cat's only clubhouse.
As striking as the cat house looks, Bob's cats may not be the only ones that look down on him for his excess.
During one of our open houses, I overheard some people saying that were real estate agents, I wonder how much this would sell for, this house, with all of these cat improvements, if it would increase the value or decrease the value. So I've kidded often that we've probably at that point in time put $10,000 worth of improvements in the house and decreased the house by $30,000.
A well-trained pet should know its place, but these cats aren't trained, and they know the place is theirs.
Most people probably don't want to eat here because we've been very undisciplined ourselves about disciplining our cats. So they'll be up there on the table, and if they see a good piece of chicken that you just didn't quite get too fast enough, you'll see a little toenail coming out and just really wanting to grab it and take off with it. And one time we had a piece of lamb that was lost and never seen again. We don't know which cat got that. But you could hear kind of growling off in the distance.
All right, let me see. Ah, she still left some.
Bob and Frances really are wedded to the idea of living with cats.
Frances always had cats and grew up with cats. I only had one cat growing up. It just was a natural thing. On our wedding night, we even got a cat, Beauregard, and he shared our wedding bed, and family ever since.
The leopard has certainly scaled the heights of the cat kingdom, but it still can't kill like our top killer cat.
We've seen the 9 contenders. They're the best of the best. Only one cat is a more extreme killing machine. Number 1.
Our number 1 killer cat is part loving pet and part vicious predator. It's soft and cuddly on the outside, but a hungry killer lurks within. More so than any other animal, the house cat has learned to become highly domesticated while keeping in touch with the wild hunter it is at heart. This little beast is a crafty carnivore and can catch and eat more than 1,000 different species of animal. Anything it can overpower is prey, and it rarely kills for food. There are 73 million pet cats in the United States, driving the yearly house cat kill to 1.5 billion animals. And cat numbers are exploding. Just one mother cat and her babies can produce up to 600,000 offspring in 10 years. But why are house cats such natural-born killers? Could it be that they've lost their mind? Meet Mikey. He's your average pedigree Abyssinian, but he's got a bit of a problem.
Here comes Mikey. Here comes Mikey. Mikey.
Mikey just doesn't seem to have any fun anymore. But he's never been quite right.
You could tell right from the get-go he was very strange. He didn't like to be touched in certain ways, and he would throw up. He would sometimes not use his litter box. I mean, just a whole host of things.
Luckily, there is help at hand for problem cats like Mikey. Carol Wilburn, cat therapist.
Cat therapy involves figuring out why a cat is doing this, that, or the other thing, and what the cat really wants. And if he's misbehaving, he's doing it because something's bothering him. And there are only so many ways that he can show something's bothering him.
What is that called when you have an alpha cat, or one is?
Type A, catsinality, yeah.
Carol makes house calls to treat cats with emotional problems. Step 1 is a little bit of catnip to get their attention.
What do you think of this, Mikey?
So the catnip relaxes them?
Usually frisky them relax.
And then it's time to get inside the cat and its owner's head.
You know how a cat can look sad? Well, he looks sad.
Yeah, he doesn't at the moment.
No, not at the moment. But ever, I guess since Tiki died, we call him Sad Sack. I mean, not in
No, we've got to start calling him Happy Sack.
Not to his face, but
oh,
we kind of Happy Sack.
Yeah, we have to change your image.
It seems one of the core problems today's house cats face is the house.
These are Mikey's balls. Yeah. There are so many cats that live indoors. When cats go outdoors, chances are they may not need as much therapy because they can just run it off if something bothers them.
But individual cats can have individual problems, and it's Carol's job to hunt the problem down and treat it.
The problem with Mikey is that he formerly lived with another cat that he was quite close to, and the other cat was the top cat, so to speak. And Mikey was always shy and sort of low profile. And then what happened is Tiki, the other cat, passed on. And then he was just really forlorn and morose, very, very sad, a real sad sack.
As a professional cat counselor, Carol also provides a written report on Mikey's mental health for future reference.
I'm going to shine.
I'm going to finish up.
I'm going to finish up. You're the best boy. Okay. Do you like Mikey's name with CKI or just K?
As with humans, there is no quick fix for depression or any other mental malady. The only answer is slow and steady growth.
More relaxed and on the way to increased courage and self-esteem. Okay.
So, is Mikey going to get it together?
I think the prognosis is really good here. I think that Mikey is just going to be able to continue to make slow strides, and then even quicker.
Okay, thank you so much, Carol.
Thank you, Joey. Bye, guys. Bye, Mike. Bye, Cinnamon Girl.
Mikey may have seen the light, thanks to Carol's work. But in mental health, there are no instant results, and like many house cats, Mikey's mental stability may always remain just out of reach.
That's a good boy.
With all their meals provided by us, house cats are the only cats who hunt for fun and who live in a world without checks and balances. Every wild cat lives a short and hard life in a full-time fight for survival. But house cats live in luxury with plenty of time and energy for their killing spree. They kill hundreds more species than their nearest rival. Which is why, when it comes to killing, the domestic cat really is the most extreme.